This is Craig Murray in Lebanon talking about Israel's bombing of Lebanon. Craig Murray, the Scottish journalist and former UK diplomat that the UK really hates and has put in prison for a while because he basically is. I think the actual charges against him were being based. That was
yeah, dude. That's how they got Assange, dude.
That's how they got Assange too.
They really got to change that law.
Absolutely. So here he is walking. For those of you listening to the podcast, he's walking through the rubble in Lebanon.
Well, we still have a Israel drone overhead threatening to bomb us. This is the site of somewhere they did bomb. They destroyed the civilian houses both sides of here. And it's extremely plain these are civilian houses. I've climbed to the top here. I've looked through everything. There's nothing whatsoever to, justify the claims of Hezbollah installations or missile bases or anything. These were civilian homes. The detritus is plainly, it's heartbreaking. 2 people died here on this spot. 12 more were seriously injured. Some may have died since. We actually haven't had an update. But when you're here and you see it, you really understand. And we are surrounded by other buildings which have become uninhabitable because of these blasts. So the total number of people who lost their homes here would be 10 or 12. And you're driving along in Baalbek on a lovely sunny day. Everything's perfectly normal, other than the drone overhead. And then suddenly you pass these scenes of random death and destruction. It's really horrifying.
Yeah, and as you can hear, the drones are circling as he's saying that. I don't know if they're circling because he's there or they're just circling in order to surveil everything. But he's just showing the devastation in Lebanon, and Israel's doing essentially following a similar, in some ways, playbook to what they've done to Gaza. Obviously not as widespread, but they are killing medics, they are killing journalists, and the number killed in Lebanon by Israel is far smaller than the numbers in Gaza. However, if it were alone, like if Lebanon were the thing that was happening right now and we didn't even, Gaza was not, there was no genocide, there was nothing going on in Gaza, we would be talking about this as utterly insane. Mm-hmm. We would be going, do you have any idea how many journalists have been murdered? How many medics, how many doctors have been murdered? Do you understand they're leveling apartment buildings that have nothing to do with any kind of battle against them? Our hair would be on fire. But instead, we've been so desensitized by Gaza that this seems like almost nothing.
And just the laziness, like we see, like the Israel's propaganda, like literally ad-libbing. You take out Hamas, replace it with Hezbollah, and it's exactly the same horse shit.
Yeah, so it's human shields. Oh, we can just blow up any apartment building we want because we're going to say that they were inside and they had weaponry in there, but we're never going to show any proof of any of that. No one will ever find any weaponry in there. It's those type of things, very similar to Gaza. And I don't know who it is that still believes their garbage, believes the garbage coming out of Israel, but I guess some people do, amazingly.
Yeah.
And of course, thank you, Craig Murray, for, doing something that is so dangerous and is so hard, going to Lebanon, standing in the places where they've just bombed, and obviously being a target because there's drones overhead, and, he's well known internationally.